know I have a special guest for you tonight. But I want to ask you ladies something out there. You know, we all grow up and we plan that, oh, we're going to get married, have children, maybe go to college, and have a wonderful home, and then, oops, something happens. And then what you originally planned doesn't quite work out. Then you have to go to plan B. But today my guest has written a book about that very same thing, going to plan B. But the name of her book is Plan B, Believe. And her name is Deanne Hall.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me, Deanne. I'm so glad you're here. You know, I had a chance to read your book.
Right.
And could not put it down.
Very good.
So, before we even get started with that, let's talk a little bit about you and tell us who you are before we start talking about your book.
Okay. First, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, dear.
I am a Charlotte native, born and raised. I a graduate of West Charlotte High School, Lions, class of 91. I am the oldest daughter of Pam and Ira Hall, and I have a younger sister and a nephew. Love to have fun, get out. I'm a little daredevil. I ride motorcycles. I love to write, read, cook, shop. I'm just an average girl next door.
Okay. So, how did you write this book, Plan B, Believe?
Plan B came about after my divorce. I was married to my high school sweetheart.
So you had that Plan A.
I had that Plan A, as I think a lot of people do. And by 18, I knew exactly. Of course, you know, 18, we know everything. So
Everything.
I knew exactly who I was going to marry, the house, the kids, where we were going to travel, school, all of that. And for 7 years, everything was on track. At 21, we got married and we moved overseas and moved back home. And after year 7, we had built a home and we were just sitting in the room, laying in the bed talking. And I was like, wow, you know, you take it all in. And I was like, are you happy? And he was like, yeah, no, I don't know, sometimes.
All three?
I need some space in one sentence. So,
okay.
Yeah, we had been in our home for 3 months, and I'm like, space, like scoot over space, or you need to go to the next room space, or you need to leave. And if you need to leave, then you can't come back, because that's a roller coaster I'm not willing to ride on.
Right.
And it was silent. He didn't say anything else. And for a couple of weeks, we really didn't say anything about it. It was just go on with your normal life. And then it was like, I'm leaving. So, okay. So what do? You can't be married to yourself.
That's true.
So I packed his clothes and gave him a hug and told him I wish you well. And shut the door. But I didn't know what to do once the door shut because that wasn't in my plan. So I'm 29 trying to figure out what's going on. I've never dated. No children. It just seemed like my world had crashed and I had to start over, but I didn't know where to start. So Plan B is actually compiled of some of my journal entries because I've always written poetry, and so that was my escape. I could write how I was feeling and no one would judge me or no one would try and fix it because your loved ones try and fix it when they see that you're in pain, but no one can fix that. So I would just write, and a couple of people read a few journal entries, and they were like, you should write a book about your life. Who wants to read about me?
Yeah.
That's just a common response. Yeah, okay. And so I said, I'll write a poetry book. And I set out to write a poetry book, and I wanted to write mine a little different and write like what I was going through or whatever prompted me to write that poem at the time on one page, and on the opposite page have the poem. And after page 2, Plan B just took on a life of its own.
So your friends and family, they inspired you or told you that you should write a book?
Yeah.
So how long did it really get you to take? Well, okay. I know you didn't start writing that very day.
No, it's a 2-part answer. The start to finish time, 7 years. The writing time, 7 months.
Oh, really?
Right, because you write and then you put it down, you pick it up some more, write a little more, and you put it down. I would send out little segments on email. Read this and tell me what you think. Oh, this is good. What's next? Oh, I haven't written it yet. I just wanted to see if you would read it. Yeah, give me some more, because I didn't want it to be so personal that everybody was like, oh, that's her story. But I still wanted it to be believable and so that people can relate.
So do you think from response from people reading your book that is almost every woman's story that's gone through a divorce, their plan B, they didn't have one?
Surprisingly, a lot of men have said the same thing.
Oh, really?
I've had a lot of men say that, men and women really aren't that different. It's just the way that we express ourselves. So, but yeah, you get a lot of women either from divorce or they've been in long-term relationships and they didn't work out, and they're just like, I really thought that you were writing about me. And so once you read the book, you're like, really? Some of that stuff I just assumed was only in my crazy little world, but evidently.
Now, Deanne, I told you I read the book. In the book, there was another young man at the beginning.
Yes.
That really liked you.
Yes.
So, what happened?
He's that friend that is always there. He's that perfect friend, but you don't see him as anything other than a friend. No lines are ever crossed. He was Mr. Right there. Always on time, Johnny on the spot for everything. He was a gem, so sweet. And because to him it was understood, but to me, I didn't know. You didn't tell me. So how would I know? I can't read minds. But then I realized as I got older, it was also, I didn't want it to be, because then I would have to choose. And I never really wanted to make the choice.
I know.
Yeah, so.
It came out in the book.
Yeah.
You didn't want to make that choice.
I never wanted to make it. I wanted somebody else to do it. I punked out. So like if you would, like if he would have just said, no, we're not getting married, I would have been like, okay. And I could just go on over here. But no, it was, it's amazing how we think we're so grown until it's time to make grown folks decisions. And then we're like, second guessing. But yeah.
So in your book, who have people said is the most popular character in the book?
Lamont is definitely the most popular character, because Lamont is that guy that everyone is looking for. Yeah, and so, you're like, how could you not see that? Because you're not looking for it. So if I'm not looking for it, why would I see it? He was that was my boy. He was a good guy. But Lamont, hands down, the most popular character. Like, you need to write a book just on him.
Yes.
So.
Is he still single?
No.
Dang. On the cover of your book, you have a man standing or going towards the door. Which man is that? Is that Lamont or your husband?
That is my ex.
Your ex. I'm sorry, your ex. Okay, I wondered when I saw that, I was like, that could be Lamont.
Yeah, that is actually the hardest day of my life. Because that's him walking out of the door and not knowing what's going to happen once the door closed.
Because you're pretty much on your own.
Because I'm on my own.
So how has this changed your relationship, writing this book, with men?
I am a lot more relaxed. I used to try and protect the relationship, and in my mind, protecting meant controlling it. So certain amount of things just couldn't happen. No, we can't do that. No, that's not even going to fly. Whereas now, I don't want to be your mother. I want to be your friend. So you like it, I love it. As long as I agree with it, if I don't feel, as long as I don't feel like it's taking me out of my moral character or something. But it's things as simple as just, let's go out, have a couple of drinks, go dancing or whatever with some of your friends, some people that I don't know. Back in the day, I may have said, no, I don't want to go. I don't know them. Now I'm more open to, okay, well, let's try it.
So you're dating people the same way you dated Lamont, but you didn't really date Lamont.
I never really. If you were to ask me, I never really dated Lamont. But if you ask everyone else, we dated. So.
Yes, you dated. So.
Yeah. So, I'm more free and relaxed and just take it day by day.
So how does your mother feel when you wrote this book? Because you have your whole family in the book.
My mom cried because she was proud of me because I didn't give up and I endured, but it brought back some memories of, like, I'm the firstborn, so when I moved overseas, she said I cried in all the same spots that, like, when we were living it out, the same things that I went back and read, I would cry in the same spots. But it was crazy because I knew what was going to happen, but still it sparked that emotion. And then she said that she was just amazed and pleased at the woman that I grew up to be. So it made her feel good. She was proud. She said, I've always been proud, but it's just an extra, little sparkle. That's my baby. So her and my dad always, keep me grounded.
Because your mom was totally against this marriage to the other, your husband.
Definitely. And I had to clear that up because it was not that she was against him per se, but my parents got married. My mom was 19 and my dad was 21. So they were saying, without saying, it's harder than you think.
Yeah, because you're young.
But when you're 21 and you're so in love, you don't hear anything.
You know what's best.
We know how it's going to work out. Y'all don't know. So that was more so of the don't do. That's why she was like, well, just wait. She would never say no. She would always say, well, if it's true, then just wait. And if it's really meant to be, then it'll happen. Yeah, so you always look like, she was like blatantly saying no, and I wasn't listening. Yeah. I wasn't, because it's not what I wanted to hear.
So what advice would you give young people that read your book?
I always tell young people to take their time. Don't rush to grow up because it's going to happen. And enjoy life. Always listen to what your parents have to say because they are your parents for a reason. And not that they're always right, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to have that aha moment 5 years from now, like, this is what they were trying to tell me.
Yeah.
So I always just don't rush to grow up. Enjoy life, and don't take anyone under 24, please don't take the dating scene so seriously. You are still trying to figure out who you are. Because hopefully you're going to be different at 24 and 25 than you were at 21. You've learned some things, experienced some things. So just wait and grow up yourself before you try and make such a grown move. I like to speak to young people because I remember how headstrong I was. And I can relate to them by telling them my story. From school, from relationships, and obeying your parents. That's the one positive that kept me, because I always tried to be respectful of my parents. And I would never just like, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. Try and get them to see my side, sort of wear them down. If you keep telling them long enough, it's just like, God, okay, I'm going to let you do. I'll be here when you fall. I'm going to let you see how it is. So I always try and tell young people, just one day at a time. Enjoy your life. You're a youth, a young adult for a reason. Don't rush to be an adult. And I think we glorify it too much with TV, and it's complete, and especially now, it's completely different from when I was younger. When I was younger, it was, my parents got married young, so I assumed that I would get married young. But that wasn't really what I should have been doing. I should have been focusing on school. So my plan B also includes me going back to school. So now I'm a full-time student over at Central Piedmont in their transfer program. So
good. So you will get that degree.
I will get the degree.
And it is never too late.
Never too late.
It really isn't.
Never too late.
I want to ask you a question, and I just thought of this. You mentioned TV. What do you think of the Kardashian that just filed for divorce? Kim Kardashian. Do you think her story is similar to yours? Do you think she should have waited?
She definitely should have waited. She did. I don't even know how long they actually dated, but it wasn't that long. It wasn't long at all. It wasn't long enough for you to think about spending the rest of your life with that person. So yes, she definitely should have waited. And I think she got caught up in the hype because it's very consuming. Planning weddings, all you see is that day. You don't see the day after. And I think we need to start focusing more on the day after and start telling all the people the importance of the next day. Because the wedding day, that's 6 hours max. And after that, the real party begins.
Yeah. You know, if I ever get married, I'm not having a big wedding. I'm going to Vegas, South Carolina.
Yeah. Vegas, that would be nice. Destination weddings are fun. Yeah, that would be nice.
Would you be willing to send her your book just to read? Because I think she needs a plan B.
I would definitely. I try and send it out to as many people as I can because it's a story that a lot of people need to read.
So what advice do you give people that are planning on getting married? Do you do workshops with them have you?
I try to talk to couples that are getting married because marriage is beautiful. I want everyone to understand that I love marriage. And had the incident not transpired, to my knowledge, I would still be married. When I talk to people, I let them know that you need to be honest. And my ex and I were like best friends. And we used to talk all the time, but we weren't talking about the right things. So you need to be honest with your feelings. If you don't feel like you're being appreciated or your opinion doesn't count, you need to express that before you say I do. Because what's going on before you say I do, that's what you're going to have after I do. Very rarely do they change. They may change the way they do it, but they don't change, not that much.
You know, Deanne, we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
And when we come back, I'm going to talk about your journey on getting this book published. Okay?
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone, but you're not alone. At iava.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. iava.org. We've got your back.
When you pick up a book and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be. Experience a world of adventure and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read.
Any questions?
What kind of service plan does this come with?
Unlimited.
Can I keep my same phone number?
Absolutely.
How do I change the ringtone?
Just hook it up to your computer.
Does it have a camera? What's the warranty? Does it come in silver? Can I put my party shuffle on this? Does it have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack? You sell a lot of these?
It's the one I carry.
You ever get those phantom vibrations in your pocket?
Any questions?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Want to see the world.
When you pick up a book
I used to read every night to all the younger kids.
and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be.
Let down your help!
Experience a world of adventure, excitement, and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read. Visit read.gov today.
Welcome back to Betty. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. I'm here with Deanne. Now, Deanne, before we went on break, I said we were going to ask you about your struggles on getting your book published and the challenges that you face. What were some of the challenges?
Once I submitted my manuscript to Catawba Publishing, which was a local publishing company in Charlotte, 2 months later they closed. And I got the letter the day after they closed. that you're out. I mean, we're done. We closed up shop yesterday. So I was stuck. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So I took it as, well, maybe I'm not supposed to publish it. And I'm in a writers group called Shade Tree Writers, and we had a guest speaker come and speak to us, and he owned a publishing company. So of course, that's my sign, so I'm gonna go with him. That didn't work out either. So one of my girlfriends suggested that I do Create Space and do self-publishing. So I went online and checked it out, and it was very feasible, so I said, I'll try it. What do I have to lose? And I submitted my manuscript, and 2 weeks later, I had a shipment of books.
Oh, really?
Really.
How many books did you get?
I pre-ordered 400 books. What I did was I went to my friends and family and coworkers, and everyone, I pre-sold my books to them to help with the cost. And I would just place that order, give them their books, and then sell. I did an extra order. I think I ordered an extra 100. And with that extra 100, I just sold them, took that money, ordered more books. So that's what I do now. I haven't cleared a profit.
You will, though.
But I will. I'm not even worried about that. I'm selling books, though. So I'm well on my way to reaching my 1,000 mark since July.
And so what, if someone wanted to get your book, how would they find out about it?
You can go to my website, which is www.mypurposepublishing.com. It's also available on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and BooksAMillion.com.
If someone wanted to just talk to you, how would they contact you?
You can reach me at 704-771-3682.
Do you have a website?
Yes, mypurposepublishing.com is my website.
So you have a publishing company now?
Yes. That started, I used to do poetry for all of my friends. When my guys were calling me like, it's my girl's birthday, I need to. And so when I would write, they were like, you should get paid for that. So after like the 50th time, you're right, I should get paid for this. So I went downtown and made sure that the name was available, and I signed up and started my own little publishing company.
So if I wrote a book, I can come to you?
Yeah, I would definitely help anyone that wants to publish a book. I would help.
Oh, really?
them. Yes.
What advice would you give the first-time writers?
Write. Every day, dedicate 30 minutes to writing. Don't limit yourself on what you're going to write about. Just write. Keep journals, the voice recorders, anything. Write, and write. Don't worry about putting it in order. Just let it flow, because you can go back and I could ask you, like, what are you trying to say, or what do you want to say in your book, and we can piece it together and make it a story that flows. But just writing is the big thing. And when it comes to publishing, research, check everywhere. So it's a lot of work. Writing a book actually is the easiest part, because then you have to market yourself, and you have to get out there and meet the people and get the books out.
So what is your future? What's next?
I'm currently working on my second book called The Foundation.
And what is that going to be about?
The Foundation is about the group of young ladies in Plan B, and they've grown, and they find out that their grandmother has Alzheimer's. And so you have to, she's instilled a bunch of wisdom in them growing up. And so now as they're older women, some of them are mothers and wives, they have to pull from within, from the wisdom that she's taught, and also show the effects of Alzheimer's on your family.
That should be a good book. Sounds like you're going to be Charlotte's Terry McMillan.
I'm trying.
You are there. You already got one book.
True.
You started on the second one.
Yes.
With the same girls from the first book and the second book. That's really good.
Thank you.
Deanne, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I had so much fun reading your book. It's really, really good. And I would advise people to read it.
Definitely.
And I think you need to send Kim Kardashian this book.
Send her that book.
Yeah.
I sure will.
So
maybe she can have a Plan B party.
And I want to thank each one of my viewers for watching us today here on The Better You, every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. on Public Access 21. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so